I'm Nems, and I do web development and system analysis. At Pixelate Academy, we create videos about front-end development, design, and other IT-related stuff. So if you want to know more, and if you want to learn more, just hit the subscribe button and then click the notification bell to get the latest updates from our channel. So today we'll be talking about HTML, or hypertext markup language. We'll talk about HTML tags, HTML elements, attributes, how to format content, how to group content using HTML div and span, and then I'll show you an example of how you can create your own HTML file. So let's get right into it. So there are three layers on a website. The first one is structure layer. The second one is the style layer. And then the third one is the interaction layer. So the first one, the structure layer, is basically HTML. HTML is used for structuring and then formatting content. The second one is you'll be using CSS, the cascading style sheets. So you'll be able to create beautiful, basically beautiful websites using CSS. You'll be able to add transformations to text or images, uh, basic animations. And then third is JavaScript. Okay, so if you're creating a single page application or a very complex website, you'll be able to create it using JavaScript. Okay. So if you're watching this on YouTube, basically HTML, YouTube is a mixture of HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. So let's talk about HTML. Okay. HTML, as I've said earlier, is for structure. Okay. So HTML is hypertext markup language. Okay. So hypertext is the hyperlinks on your website. Okay. So if you've got a website like YouTube, then there are navigations on it, like like your profile, your home, your watch page, every other pages on YouTube is accessible using hyperlinks. Okay. The next part of the name is markup language. Okay. Markup language is basically like if you've used a text editor like Microsoft Word, Google Docs, then you've met a website or a program that uses markup language. Okay. So if you've got a document that has a heading, like heading 1, heading 2, up to heading 6, HTML also has that, except HTML uses tags. Okay. So like H1, H to H6, there are separate tags for that. Also, there are separate different other tags, a lot of different tags, almost 100 tags, 100 HTML tags are currently supported by a lot of web browsers. Okay, so keep in mind that web browsers support different kinds of tags. So you've got to be ready for that when you're developing your own website. So let's talk about a little bit about its history. It was created by Sir Tim Berners-Lee, who also created the World Wide Web and the first browser, also called the World Wide Web. And he created the World Wide Web, as I've said in the previous video. I'll link it here, up here, or anywhere here. The World Wide Web was created for scientists and researchers in universities and institutions around the world for them to be able to share information. Okay, and then he created HTML so that those information that was being passed from researcher to scientists to institutions are formatted. Okay. They are formatted. They've got a format easily readable. Imagine if you've got a 100-page textbook that has no heading, that has no subheadings, no paragraphs, no bold text or italic text for emphasis and underlines and marks. It's gonna be hard to understand, right? So HTML was created for that. So in 1991, while working at CERN, he was still at CERN at this time, Sir Tim Berners-Lee created HTML. But then it was not officially released. It was officially released in 1993, and but then the version was already HTML 1.0. And then HTML 2.0 was created in 1995, and then in 1997, HTML 3.0. In 1999, HTML 4.01. And then here's the fun part though. There was a very big space between the creation of the versions. So 2008, HTML5, or basically they call it the Living Standard, was created. Okay, and then the final version was released on 2014. So if you're seeing websites right now on your web browser, basically they are already created using HTML5 or the Living Standard. So now let's talk about tags. Okay, so tags are keywords that are used to format the content. As I've said earlier, it's keywords. Okay, HTML is used to format content. So how do you format content? By using tags. Those are the basic basic foundation of HTML. You've got to learn that. You've got to learn all the tags. Although me personally, I don't memorize them, but you've got to learn how to use them. Okay, so HTML tags. HTML tags are, let's take an example. HTML. So HTML has its own tag. Okay, so if you're if you've got an HTML document, you've got to wrap it inside an HTML tag. So there are two types of tags, a close tag and then a void tag. Okay, so HTML void tags mean that you don't need to close it. So if you've got an image, if you see an image on a website, it's not closed. Okay, so I'll explain that later on. And then for the close tags, for the close tags, for the HTML close tags, you need an opening and then a closing tag. So the first one, the opening, you've got to put it, the keyword, you've got to put the keyword inside angle braces. Okay, so example, HTML, you've got HTML here, and then you've got to put it inside an angle brace. Okay, so that's your opening. And then your closing HTML tag should be put also inside angle braces with a slash. Okay, so forward slash. Okay, so basically the HTML tags will tell the browser how to display your content for the user to be able to read it. So I'll be showing you a sample of an HTML script. They say it's a script, but then HTML is not a programming language, okay? So I'll be showing you a sample of an HTML script. Although don't be confused because HTML is not a programming language. It is a markup language. Programming language, it has a different kind of structure, okay? And it's used differently. So HTML is basically for structuring web content. So don't be confused of that. But they still call it, I still call it HTML script. Here you can see an HTML script. The first one is the HTML tags. So you've got the HTML tag at the top, and then you've got the HTML closing HTML tag at the bottom. And then inside the HTML tags, you've got the head tag, and then, so this head tag, later I'll explain it. So inside the head tag, you've got the title tag. Okay. So the title tag, this hello world right here. So this hello world, the hello world content inside the title tag would be displayed at the browser tabs. Okay. And then you've got the body tag. The body tag basically tells the browser that, hey, it's the body, so it's going to start here. So it will be displayed on the browser console, basically in the browser display console. Okay. So you've got an H1, you've got a paragraph, okay, and then a strong tag inside a paragraph. You can use that. And then the image tag. So as you can see, the image tag has no closing tag. It is closed by itself by a forward slash at the end of the tag. Okay, so don't forget, if you're going to use a an HTML tag that needs to be closed, don't forget the closing tag. Okay, so every script that you'll be seeing on the video is will have a bit.ly URL there, so you'll be able to access it quickly. You don't need to type it in. Okay, I've put it on Codepen. So Codepen basically is a online code editor that you can use to practice HTML, CSS, and JavaScript and other scripting languages for the web. So next we'll talk about elements. So as you've seen earlier, there was the title tag, right? So there was a title tag, the opening title tag, and then the content, and then the closing title tag. So those three make up an HTML element. Okay, the tag, the opening tag, the content, and then the closing tag. So that is an HTML element. So next we'll talk about attributes. Okay, so attributes provide additional information for the HTML content. So as you've seen earlier, so we'll go back to the sample script. So in the sample script, you've got the image tag. In the image tag, inside the image tag, there's one, two, three, four attributes. The first one is the SRC. So an image tag needs the SRC attribute. Okay, so as I've said earlier, attributes tell or give additional information for the browser to display a structured information of the content. So the first attribute of the image, the most important one, is the source or the SRC. So the source tells the browser where to find the image and then display it on your browsers. So the next one is the alt text or the alt attribute. The alt attribute tells the browser that if the source cannot be found, you will have to display this. So if the source is not found, then the word sleep will be displayed instead. So I think if you're browsing the internet, you've encountered times where the image did not display and then there was a text. So that's the alt text, alt attribute. That's what the alt attribute is for. Okay. And then you've got the width attribute. Mm, mm, it's self-explanatory. Also the height. It tells these attributes tell the browser how to display the image. Okay. The dimensions of the image. Okay. So an attribute, an HTML tag attribute has the attribute name and then the equal sign, and then inside a double quotation mark is the value. Okay. Next, we've got formatting. Okay. So formatting tags. Okay. So this is a group of tags that's basically uh, created for formatting. So this is the most important ones. Okay. Formatting tags, formatting HTML tags gives you the ability to format content without using CSS or cascading style sheets. Okay, so first on the slide, first one is the B tag or the bold tag. Okay, so the second one is the strong tag. So the B tag and the strong tag is displayed the same. Okay, but then there is a difference. Okay, so according to Text Stacker, I'll put the link in the description. The strong tag is used for content of great importance, like warnings. So if you got a warning on your website, use the strong tag. And then the B element or the B tag is used to draw attention without suggesting importance. So if you've got a content that has no importance, so the B tag is used to draw attention without suggesting importance. Okay, so in their example, there's a sentence: the Spanish word idioma means language. It originates from Greek. So, from the way I said it, you'll know that the word idioma was emphasized. So, you can use the B tag on that. You don't need to use the strong tag. Okay. So, the B tag was used not because it has great importance, but because it's a foreign non English word. The developer wanted to stand out from the surrounding text. That's the difference between a strong tag and a bold tag. Next, we've got the italic tag and then the EM tag. Okay. Okay. So according to geeksforgeeks.org, I'll also put the link on the description. The italic tag is one of the elements of HTML which is used for in formatting HTML text. It is used to define a text in technical term, alternate mood or voice, a thought, etc. Okay, so to use it, you'll have to use the angle braces, and then the angle braces, you have to put the I tag, the I letter, and then the content, and then you put the closing tag after the content. Okay, the EM tag. The EM tag is used to define emphasized text or statements. Okay, so italic tag is used to define text in technical terms, alternate mood or voice, a thought, etc. So the EM tag, on the other hand, is used to emphasize text. Okay, so they've got an example here. Iron Man is a hero. Okay, so that's the first sentence. Geeks for Geeks is the best educational site. So in the first sentence, Iron Man is a hero, there was no emphasis. Okay. So you can just say it or read it by saying or by reading it. So you can read or say it, Iron Man is a hero, not Iron Man is a hero. There's no need to emphasize it, right? But in the second sentence, the GFG is the best, or Geeks for Geeks is the best educational website. So there is an emphasis on the word best. So on the first sentence, Iron Man was encapsulated or was inside the italic tag, because you don't need to emphasize the word Iron Man. There's no need to do that. But in the second tag, you need to emphasize the best. So use the emphasis tag or the EM tag. Okay. So for the mark tag, okay, so the mark tag is basically when you're trying to study a book. Example, this is an example, okay? So when you're trying to study a book and then you've found some important facts on the book, then you use a highlighter to highlight that sentences, those important facts. So in HTML, there is a same function for that using the mark tag. Okay, so if you want a highlighted text on your content, put it inside a mark tag. Okay, so next you've got the underline tags. The underline tags is basically same with your word editors. The the text is underlined. That's just it. Okay, and then you've got the so next you've got the superscript or the sub tag. Okay, so SUP inside angle braces. Okay, so this needs a closing tag also. So next is the superscript tag or the sub tag. SUP letters inside angle braces. Okay, so superscript tag is used when you're dealing with measurements. Example, 2 squared feet. So 2 feet, and then a small number two, just above the after top right, after top right of the T letter T. Okay. So subscript on the other hand is used when you're dealing with example is elements. Okay. So H2O, H, and then you've got the number two, small letter two, and then O. Okay. So that's how you use superscript, and then subscript tags. So next we've got the insert tag and then the delete tag. These two tags are displayed the same, although the meaning are different. Okay, so insert, when you use the insert tag, the reader would basically read it or understand it that you've inserted that text. Okay. Oops. And then if you use the delete tag, the viewer of your website content would understand that you've deleted this content. So it's basically the delete and insert tag are displayed with the words. There's a line or strike through. Okay. And then last is the big and then the small tags. Big tag, if you've used the big tag, the content inside the big tag would have a bigger font than the rest of the content. And then vice versa with a small tag. If you use the small tag, the content between the small tags, the opening and closing tags, would have a smaller font size than the rest of the content. So next we have grouping content. Okay, so HTML gives you the ability to group content via using the div tag and then the span tag. Okay, so the div tag is used to separate contents, like you can separate sections of your HTML content, and then the span tag is used can be used inside even elements. Okay, even in formatting contents or formatting tags, you can use the span tag inside them, but you can't use a div tag inside a formatting tag because that's a no-no. Okay, don't do that. So basically, if you use the div tag and the span tag together, you'll be able to create sections and subsections of your website. So let's go to an example. So now we'll have an example of an HTML script that you'll be able to create your own without downloading anything. So using Codepen, you can access this pen. This is the pen that I've created. You can access it using the codepen.io slash nems dash kun slash pen slash rnwbngd. Hopefully you're seeing the my screen right now. So just copy paste this. Just copy this on your browser or click the link in the description. I'll put it there also so that you won't have to type this script on your own. Okay. So here, actually, this example, I've shown it earlier to you. So you've got the HTML, opening and closing tags. You've got the head tag. Inside the head tag, you've got the title. Then the body tag, you've got the heading one, the paragraph. Inside the paragraph, you've got the strong formatting tag, and then the image tag, okay, which has the source attribute, the alternative attribute, the width attribute, and then the height attribute. Okay, so as you can see, the image does not have a closing tag. Okay, so this is just a review. So just copy this. Okay, copy this, then open Notepad. There we go. Okay, so this step, just save it anywhere you want to. I'll just save it on my documents. Okay, and then just name it anything. I name mine uh, sleeping cat. Okay, so save it with .html extension so that the browser, so that your computer would read it as a browser document. Okay, as an HTML document. Okay, so let's proceed to find it. Okay, so as you can see, the system, my operating system detects that it is in an HTML file. So it will open this file on my default browser. So I hope yours has this also so that we'll be able to uh, follow me through this example. So just double click it, then it will open on your default browser. So as you can see, you've got the heading. Okay. So the heading, the paragraph, the bold text, and then the image of the sleeping cat. Mhm. So let's just try to inspect element it so that it will be able to better break it down. Okay. Okay. There you go. So as you can see, the browser displayed your script, your HTML script with the correct formattings, okay, and the correct attributes, okay. So the image is 300 by 300, as you can see on the left side of my screen, because we've specified it via the width and height attributes. Okay, so the heading one, the paragraph, the strong tag, and then the image tag. Okay. So as you can see, it's easier to create now HTML websites, or basically websites, without even using CSS and JavaScript. You'll be able to create your own website with formatted content just using HTML tags. Okay. So if you're new to HTML, you'll be able to learn more about HTML if you follow our channel. So don't forget to subscribe. It will help us out a lot, guys. Okay, so let's return to the example. So we'll try editing this one. Okay, I'm reaching for my laptop because it's on top of a chair right now. Okay, this is just a makeshift studio. Okay, so enter that. So as you can see, the uh, browser automatically detects that I've changed the H1 to H2, from heading 1 to heading 2. So the content is also displayed with heading 2 formatting. But remember that if you edit it in this, what do you call this? This right here, the inspect element, through the inspect element, if you edit your website through inspect element, it won't be saved on the file. Okay. So this is just for debugging. Okay. So if you want to save and change anything, you'll have to change it here. Okay. So let's change it to H6 so that you guys will be able to uh, see the difference. Okay. So once you refresh this page, all the edits that you've entered here on the inspect element will be gone. Okay. So let's try it out. See, as you can see, it's, oh yeah, it's H6. I put it. I was shocked by what I've done, but yes, it's H6. Okay, so as you can see, the head sleeping cat text is now in H6. And before I forgot, mm, and before I forget, sorry about that. So before I forget, as you can see here, the title, the Hello World title, is not seen here, right? On your website's content, okay, or the body. So the body is shown here, but then okay, let's try it. Let's see. Yeah, there you go. Okay, okay. So I'm just adjusting the windows. Okay, so as you can see here, the body is displayed via this via your browser's display. Okay, but then the title is displayed here on the tab, on the browser's tab. Okay, so this becomes your website's title. So whatever you put in the title, inside the title tags, it will be your website's title. Okay, so that's it for now, guys. The For a recap of what we've discussed. So first, we discussed a little bit about HTML's history. Okay, so from the unofficial release of HTML in 1991 to 2014, the last version of HTML that was released, which is HTML5, the Living Standard. That's what they call it. And then you've got, and then we've talked about who created it, Sir Tim Berners-Lee. We've talked about tags, elements, attributes, and then how to format content using the different, basically, I think it's 12 or 14. Let's see. Okay, so it's 12. Okay, sorry about that. So you've got 12 tags for formatting content using HTML formatting tags, and then you can create also sections and subsections on your web page using div and span tags. And then I've also shown you an example, so you can still access it using the link in the description. And if you've got any questions, just comment it down below and share it with your friends. Please don't forget to subscribe.